Salute, salute, salute to everybody. This is your boy JR Boxing Talk. Man, I cannot believe what I have seen. Shout out to Terrance Crawford. He has proven me wrong. And I'm going to take everything back that I said about this man not being the same fighter as he was at 140. This man has shown up like he was at 140. Tonight, Spence, shout out to Errol Spence for giving it his all. Shout out to him for doing what he did. But it just wasn't enough to beat Terrance Crawford. And I'm going to break this down because I don't want to take too much of you guys' time. Terrance Crawford was a machine tonight. He was like Terminator tonight. It's like Spence just couldn't move him the way he wanted to do with him. He just couldn't bully Terrance Crawford. Terrance Crawford was like, yeah, Spence had his moments where he was trying to dig to the body. He was trying to land those big shots around Terrance Crawford, get that ear busted up. But Terrance Crawford was guarded in the high guard so much, he was forcing Spence to throw those big looping shots. And then when Spence got done throwing those big looping left hook, Crawford comes back with his own. He comes back with his own. He pops up out of the high guard and he throws his big looping left hook, big looping right hook. And Spence was just taking it. He was taking the damage. He was taking them. But around the third to fourth round, Spence's face started to swell up. And shout out to the great Kurt Anderson. He said it was going to be a stoppage by Crawford. It didn't happen in the 7th or 8th round, but it happened in the 9th round. Crawford was a machine tonight. Spence just couldn't bully Crawford the way he wanted to. Crawford was bullying Spence. It's like Crawford's jab was starting to get on point, and Crawford made the adjustment. This is the Crawford that I was not expecting to show up. That version right there, that was a 140-pound Crawford. Spence couldn't do nothing tonight. Spence got his face busted up. Spence got knocked down 3 times. Crawford knocked him down 3 times. Crawford knocked him down in the shoulder. Crawford knocked him down with a big left looping hook. It was a left looping hook. And then Crawford knocked him down towards the end of the 7th or 8th round, I think. And then Crawford pushed the gas on Spence and stopped him. And I wasn't expecting this. Spence was winning the first 2 rounds. But Crawford made the adjustment and he was just pressing Spence. He kept pressing him. He made the adjustments. He seen the first hooks that Crawford was landing on Spence. Spence couldn't adjust. Spence couldn't get out the way. I didn't understand what was Spence's game plan. It's like Spence was off balance. It's like he was off balance. He was trying to work his way with the jab. He was trying to get in on the inside. And like I said before, I thought Crawford mid-range game was off. But Crawford mid-range game was on point tonight. His inside work, his dog showed up, and he beat Errol Spence. Spence was trying to bully Crawford by digging the body. Yes, Spence had him in the corner in the earlier rounds. But Crawford was just doing whatever he wants. Crawford was just throwing him back in the middle of the ring. And what's the funny thing is, Spence was bigger than Crawford. So it debunks the theory that great big men beats great little men. And it makes me wonder what it's going to look like if Crawford fought Jermell Charlo, but Crawford says that he wouldn't fight Jermell Charlo if he fight Canelo Alvarez, and that fight seems to be a go. So we never know what's going to happen with that fight. But if Crawford do this like he did to Spence tonight against Jermell Charlo, man, Crawford is one of the best fighters in the world. He is the, matter of fact, I'm not going to say one of them. He is the best fighter in the world. He beat my favorite fighter tonight. And you guys said I was going to run, I was going to cry. Yes, I did all my shit talking because I like Spence. Spence is my favorite fighter. But Crawford made me a believer tonight. Crawford made me a believer tonight. He still got it. I thought Crawford was out his prime. But Crawford still got it. Crawford still got it. So maybe the theory has proven that if you take an easier route, that you will have fresher legs. And I brought this up in many of videos. Crawford, in his mind, might have thought by him fighting a little bit opponents that's not skilled on his level, he could be fresh for Spence. And it worked tonight. You see Spence took the hardest route possibly can. And he got there. He worked out the mud to do it. But it just wasn't enough to beat Crawford. Crawford is undisputed at 140 and 147. Shout out to Terrance Crawford. He did the damn thing tonight. He made me a believer. Terrance Crawford, I support you 1,000%. Now, will there be a rematch? I don't know. We got to see what Spence was going to do. If I was Spence, I'd take the rematch. I'll prove to the world that, look, Crawford banged me up, but now it's my time to shine. But I don't know. Maybe Crawford has Spence's number. Who knows? But Crawford tonight, his game plan was to throw those big looping shots. And what was so bad about it, Crawford looping hooks, they was just landing heavy on Spence. Like, Spence's nose was busted in like the 4th round. His eyes started to swell up in the 6th, and his face just got even worse and worse and worse as the rounds progressed. And Spence had the grits not to give up, but he got knocked down 3 times. So that power is real from Crawford. So shout out to Terrance Crawford, man. With that being said, guys, that is my post-fight reaction. Shout out to Terrance Crawford. I was wrong. He made me a hell of a believer tonight. He beat my favorite fighter, Errol Spence Jr., but it's still man down. I still support Errol Spence Jr. Even if he took a loss tonight, even though he lost all his unified belts, I would have liked to see Spence become unified. I would like to see him become undisputed. But he still has a chance to do it in the rematch. But we got to see what goes on for Spence next. But both of these guys put on a hell of a fight tonight. Crawford was just a superior fighter. And to be honest with you, Crawford's now the best fighter in the world because he beat my favorite fighter. So shout out to Terrance Crawford. I'm not going to take up too much of you guys' time. With that being said, guys, it is what it is. At the end of the day, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button on your way in and on your way out. This is your boy, JR Boxing Talk. I will be back with some more boxing news, guys. I'm out of here, y'all. Peace.